Good morning, first graders. Today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. Today we're going to be previewing our vocabulary. You'll have an opportunity to read your persuasive text, and then we'll go over the developing your vocabulary and check your understanding for comprehension. Please get your student interactive out, and we'll begin on page 108. So the title of our persuasive text this week is called In Spring. And so this text is going to be trying to convince you or persuade you that spring is probably the best season. I wonder if you guys will have the same opinion or maybe a different opinion. You are going to read these vocabulary words. Your words are fawns, worms, and squirrels. So fawns, just in case you don't know what fawns are, a fawn is a young deer, usually under the age of 1, so like a baby deer. Worms, I know you know what worms are, but to describe them for you, they've got this long, tubular, tube-like body without any eyes and without limbs, no arms, no legs. And squirrels are actually a type of rodent. So remember to read. Make sure as you're reading, you think about predictions. Maybe before you turn to the next page, think about what might happen next. Read to learn about spring. See if your predictions are correct, if you do make any predictions, and then think about what is the author's opinion. Speaking of the author, her name is Angela Johnson, and she used to be a gardener. Now she likes to walk through other people's gardens and think about her writing. So it sounds like gardening has given her a lot of inspiration, and spring is the perfect time for gardening. So you have your text in spring. Remember the genre, the type of text is that it's a persuasive text, and I will link the audio in my view just in case you want to follow along and have it read to you. All right, so you're welcome to pause the video and stop and read the text to yourself or listen to the audio if you'd like to. When you are finished reading the text, you have 2 pages you need to work on. The first one is page 118. So for developing vocabulary, all you have to do is draw a line from each word to the picture that shows its meaning. This is pretty simple. I know you can do it. So draw a picture from fawns, draw a line from the word fawns to the picture of fawns, draw a line from worms to the picture of worms, and draw a line from squirrels to the picture of squirrels. Then it says, see if you can use the vocabulary words to talk about spring. This is something you could do out loud with someone in your home, or you could go ahead and write a couple sentences or even just one sentence using one of the vocabulary words below. So remember your 3 words were fawns, worms, and squirrels. The last thing you have to do today is your check for understanding. So let's go ahead and talk about these questions. Your job is to write the answers to the questions, and if you need to, look back at the text. So this is on page 119. Number 1, how can you tell that this is a persuasive text? Guys, how did you know that this text is persuading you to believe something or trying to convince you to have a certain opinion? Well, that's because the author is trying to get you guys to think that spring is the best season. You can write that down in my words or your own words. You can say the author is trying to get readers to believe that spring is the best season. Okay, when you're ready, move on to number 2. Why does the author use words such as dart and melting? What do you guys think? Dart and melting. You may want to write something down about how the author uses these words so you can really see what's happening in the text. The author uses these words so you can see what's happening in the text. These are really good descriptive words. All right, and question number 3, your last question for the day. How are plants and animals similar in spring? Use text evidence. What happens to a lot of animals and what happens to a lot of plants in spring? Think of how everything's blooming. You could say they grow in spring. And when I say they, I mean the plants and the animals. They grow in spring. Okay, that's all you have to do for today, you guys. Thanks for following along with me. If you have to go back and start your work now and didn't do it with me, that's fine. Keep in mind the only things you have to do today for preview your vocabulary are words for fawns, squirrels, and worms. You need to read the persuasive text called Spring, and then you need to work on your developing vocabulary page where you're just matching the pictures to the words and writing your own sentence or practicing using those words out loud. And then you have to work on the check your understanding with the 3 questions that we just went over. If you need any help, feel free to reach out to me. I miss you guys. Bye.